We are living at a time that a budget option smartphone can cost much as $750. What if I told you there's a phone that has a 6.3-inch edge-to-edge Full HD display, Snapdragon 660 processor, 48 megapixel rear cameras, Gorilla 5 glass panel, splash resistance, even with, are you ready for this? A headphone jack, but starting only at $150. Look no further, this is the brand new Redmi Note 7. Hey, how's it going guys? This is Ding with Tech in Action. Today we're looking at a phone that got a lot of attention recently. First, let's talk about the brand, since Redmi officially became an independent sub-brand of Xiaomi, which brings them strategic advantages against the competition such as Huawei and Honor, Oppo and OnePlus, etc. What's good for the consumers is that it allows Redmi to develop its own flagship lineup with more high-end hardware while still keep the budget pricing. That being said, in the near future, we can expect flagship Redmi phones with insane price-to-performance ratio and can still be under $300, being optimistic that is. On the other hand, Xiaomi may further perfecting their Mi series and bump up the price a little bit, so their next flagship probably wouldn't be as cheap as Xiaomi Mi 8. Now let's get to the actual phone. The box itself is already different than before. The branding now is printed in letters instead of Chinese characters. The number 18 stands for the extended 18-month warranty, which I will talk a bit more about later. Once you open the box, you will find, of course, the phone covered in plastic, the instruction in a language you wouldn't understand, but who would read it anyways, a standard USB Type-C cable in white, a SIM tray tool, and a 10-watt slow charger. Luckily, you have the option to throw in another 10 RMB along with the phone for a 18-watt rapid charger. So if you're buying this phone in China or from a retailer that's located in China, make sure to get this option, or at least don't let the retailer overcharge you for the charger. Another accessory that we rarely see in budget phone is the case, which I can assure you is not the fanciest case you will find, but some extra protection can never hurt. Redmi Note 7 ditched the old metal chassis design on the previous Note phones. Instead, now it has a more premium looking glass panel with gradient color finish. Of course, it's subjective. Some people don't like the glass sandwich design. I personally find it easier on the eyes. The downside being it's slippery, attracts fingerprints, and you're better off wearing some kind of protection in case it drops. Luckily enough, this phone is protected by Gorilla 5 glass, front and back. Another reason why this phone is such a good bang for the buck with premium material it's featured. It has a teardrop notch on top, which is one of the less annoying notch solution at this moment. Though it's not exactly a tear-shaped notch, it's more of a round shape. Nonetheless, I think it looks pretty awesome compared to other things we've seen in the past. Before I forget, volume rockers and key button is on the right side of the phone, and on the left side there's nothing but a SIM card tray, and the battery indication and notification light is on the chin. The build quality seems solid too, so much so that Xiaomi guarantees extended 18-month warranty for users in China. I'm not sure the same will apply to other regions, but it does show Xiaomi's confidence in this product. Another nice touch is that the phone has water and dust-proof functionality. Provided by the picture I found online, the watertight seals around the Type-C port, SIM card tray, even the camera module. That means it will probably survive some splashes. Though it doesn't have IP rating or any sort of certification, so don't go dip it in water or something, because that's just stupid. Also, water damage is not covered by warranty. The buttons on this phone feel sturdy too. Overall, the build quality is pretty darn impressive. Now let's have a glance at the internals. Snapdragon 660 is still a capable mid-range processor in 2019. RAM option goes from 3GB all the way up to 6GB, and if the 32 or 64 internal storage is not enough for you, this phone supports up to 256GB expandable storage, another extremely useful and yet dying feature on such a cheap device. Plus, it can be used as one additional SIM card slot, which comes in handy for users in certain areas. And if you think Xiaomi will cut corners with other components, you're simply wrong. I mean, at least not this time. To my surprise, this phone has Bluetooth 5.0. This may not sound like a big deal, but not only it provides faster transfer speed, greater range, lower power consumption and less latency compared to Bluetooth 4.2. Also, it's not that common. Even on some newly arrived pricier phones, for example the $400 Huawei Nova 4 and the flagship model Mate 20X is still stuck at Bluetooth 4.2. Aside from that, it has USB Type-C port. Not that it's a new technology, and it does appear more and more often on budget devices.
But can you do this?
The sweet headphone jack. Even a $1,500 phone nowadays doesn't necessarily have a headphone jack. Being able to use your headphone without a dongle or charge your phone while listening to music really is a luxury in 2019. It's good to see that it's still possible to have a headphone jack, because I almost thought it wasn't. Another useful but dying, at this point pretty much dead feature, is the infrared sensor. You can use it to remote control your TV, your AC, or some cases the RGB lighting controller on your PC. Camera is another big selling point of the phone. There's a lot of discussion / debates going on about whether the 48 megapixel camera really is 48 megapixel, because the sensor can only support up to 25. From what I understand and things I read, the Samsung GM1 sensor it's used does physically have 48 million pixels. When it takes a shot, it binds 4 pixels into one as a 12 megapixel photo. You can actually find this on Samsung's website, and I quote, "They use Samsung touch cell technology, which merges 4 pixels together to create one single pixel that's more effective in low-light environments. Then through algorithm, it outputs as 48 megapixel. You can see it for yourself whether it is better in low light compared to Honor 8X. There's always a lot to say about the cameras, so I will make another video to test out the cameras only. In terms of battery life, the 4000 mAh battery should last the whole day without a sweat. If not, that means you're spending way too much time on your phone. With the stock 10-watt charger, it takes 2 hours and 12 minutes to fully charge, and with the 18-watt rapid charger, it takes 1 hour and 32 minutes. It's running the Chinese version MIUI 10 based on Android Pie, but worry not, there's an international version available on Xiaomi's website. And if I'm not horribly wrong, this phone is going to be very popular in China, India, and many other regions. So custom ROM option will be plenty. In fact, there's already a dedicated page for this phone on XDA forum to teach you how to unlock the bootloader, install custom recovery, stuff like that. It should be fun if you're into that kind of stuff. Alright, it's time to wrap it up. This phone is hands down the best value you can get at the price tag. Not just for long-term Xiaomi users, but also for those who have heard about this brand and are willing to give it a shot. This is the one to go with. If I have to be nitpicking, that would be the mono speaker at the bottom. It sounds cheap, just like basically all the other mono speakers in the market, but at least it's loud enough. Also, the camera module is protruding quite a bit, so much so that even with the case on, this phone cannot lay flat on the table. Other than that, Redmi Note 7 really is setting the standard for budget phones in 2019. It's even better value than some of the other Xiaomi phones, go figure. If there's anything you want to ask, leave a comment below, and if you really want to know, send me a message on Twitter or Instagram. That was it for today. I'll see you next time.